Hi everybody and welcome to week 3 of our Remote Incredible Years series. So in this video I wanted to speak to you about temperament. So last week one of the home tasks was to have a look in your Incredible Years book at the temperament questionnaire between pages 55 to 58. It's a little bit like that. So, and what I asked you to do is to plot your child's temperament against your own temperament. Now, temperament's a really important thing to be mindful of. Um, we're all born with our own temperament. We can't really change our temperament. And I suppose it's really interesting to think about how your child's temperament is similar or different to your own. Because if they're if they're very similar to you, that can mean that you can empathise with where they're coming from, but it can also be problematic. If they are very different from you, it can be problematic in that you might not kind of always understand where they're coming from or why they really struggle with something. So I'm going to take from the book, let's think of the very first one, your child's activity level, right? So your child will go from, is your child, I'm trying to do this for the camera, are they quite calm, quiet and relaxed? Are they quite a calm child? Or are they a very, very active child? Okay. Now, in the realms of children are generally quite active anyway, but is your child quite calm? Is calm or are they quite active? Are you quite calm or are you quite an active person? So what we can do is, and I've just dropped one of my props. What we can do is we can't change if your child has a calm or an active temperament. That's part of who they are. What we can do though is extend. So a little bit like this elastic band, okay. So imagine we've got calm there, very calm, very quiet, and very active over here. What we can do, let's take very active, okay. What we can do is using the strategies that we're going to think about this week in the social coaching and the emotion coaching, we can start to just extend their range of, so if you've got a little bundle of energy, really, really hyperactive, what we can do, we can start to use those coaching strategies to just expand their range in that temperament to make them a little bit calmer, to come over here a little bit, and then they will go back to their normal natural temperament. Okay, by repeating that, you're actually stretching them a little bit more and making them a little bit more flexible to different situations, to be able to cope in different situations, to be able to, when they need to be calm and relaxed, and then go back to their normal temperament. Okay. Um, like I said, if you are very similar, so if you have a very active child and you're quite a calm person, that can be really difficult for you to understand. Like, why can't they just calm down? Why I don't understand why I can't just calm down. I can be calm. Look at me. I'm not running around all over the place. I'm not swinging off the ceiling. But if that's their natural temperament, that can be very difficult for you to sometimes understand that. Um, Equally, if you're a very active person, if you're a very active parent and you have a very calm, quiet child, it can be very difficult to kind of go, well, come on, stop just sitting there, come on, let's get a bomb under you, let's do, let's get some fireworks in there, let's get you active. It just feels a little bit tricky sometimes. By being aware of yourself, being reflective of who you are as a person, what your natural temperament is, and thinking about your child's temperament, it can just help you to think about A, where they're coming from, and so situations from their point of view. And B, it can help us to think about what areas of social behaviours, of emotional regulation, do we feel that would help them, where we can extend their range a little bit for short periods of time and then go back to what they're normally naturally like. Okay. I'm going to take another example, maybe emotional intensity. So if you are quite um, an emotional person, you react kind of very quickly, very fast, very emotionally. You might burst into tears, you might yell, you might scream, and that's part of you. You've always been part of you. That's always been part of you. It can be quite difficult if you've got a child who has a mild calm reaction, who doesn't seem to react too much, because actually what can happen is a situation occurs, you you react very intensely, they're not reacting intensely, so you think they, well, you don't care, I'm up here, why aren't you up here with me? Yeah, so they can, so that can cause a lot of frustration for you. um Also, if your child reacts very emotionally and you act very emotionally, something can happen. They're up there and you're up there as well. So we're all up in this heightened level of emotional reaction. And actually, which one of you is going to start to bring it down? One of you. So who's the adult in the room? One of you needs to be able to bring the that emotional energy down in the room, so that we can think logically about something, so we can think calmly about something. So that can be really, really tricky. Um, so it's just to be aware of this. There is a little bit more in the book, um, but I mean, from my experience, I'm extremely stubborn. My dad was extremely stubborn. That caused problems, as you can imagine. No one's no one is letting go of a situation, um, and that can be really tricky. However, if one person was stubborn and one person was always giving in, what you want the stubborn person to do is learn that sometimes it's okay to give a little bit of flexibility. It's okay to give in a little bit, to be flexible in those situations. And for children who always give in, it can be okay to let them learn that sometimes it's okay to stand your ground. It's okay for you to get what you need and what you want, your needs met. So think about the elastic band. We're going to stretch their range in social and emotion coaching. Okay.